Can we start now? Mataji? Mataji,
Yeah.
mute.
Yeah. Please start.
Om Jnanam Timirandasya Jnananjanashalaakaya Kakshurannamitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sahagadam Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parikana Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Shri Vishakhanvitam Shri Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dikabhadro
Jagatpate
Kancana Gaurani Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Harike Vachakalpatarubhyascha Vastutu Vaishnaveebhyo Namo Namaha
Sri Krishna
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita
Gadadhara Srivasadi Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Okay. So today we'll first discuss the question answers last week's. Why I am doing this is the second chapter is very important and we should understand it properly. Mostly all of you have got good score only, like 70%, 80%. But what I feel is that all of you, just myself saying this answer is correct, this answer is wrong, rather than that, just if you have any doubts on it, you can ask me. There's a reason, at least for second chapter, I thought we'll discuss the question answers. Okay. So I have released the answers. Hope all of you have seen your answers and you have seen how much score you have got. So you know where you have gone wrong. Okay, the first question is, what does Lord Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? I'm very happy all of you have marked this answer correctly. All of you have marked. To do our duty without expecting results. That is the answer. And all of you have marked it correctly. So there is nothing to discuss about it. I'm happy your understanding is very correct on this. So the next question is, what does Jnana Shastra talk about? So I have given 3 answers. 7 have given the correct answer as first. 2 have given it as second and 2 have given it as third. The correct answer is the Jnana Shastra. Jnanam. What is the actual Jnanam? It talks about the Atma, the Paramatma, and the matter. The Shastra doesn't, the Jnana Shastra doesn't talk about the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, nor knowledge of Vedas. So the Jnana Shastra, that is what we have discussed in the previous section, that is from 11 to 30. So that answer on 2 to 4 have put it wrong. And the next question is very important question. What are the components of subtle body? This is a very important question which we have to understand. So the subtle body, we have been discussing about this. The soul is there. The soul is covered with the subtle body, that is the mind, the intelligence, and the ego. And that is covered, then the soul is covered by this, and that is covered by the material body. So the subtle body consists of mind, intelligence, and ego. That means that is a body which we mean it's a material body. We have to understand it's a material body, but it is subtle. We cannot see it. It is that is what is covers the soul, and almost we are under the control of these things. We are like this today. If we are what we are, that is because of this only. This mind, intelligence, and ego, not the body of the soul. What are the components of the material body? This all of you have marked it correct. Earth, water, fire, and ether. In fact, we all call it as Panchabhutalu. That is these five. This answer is also correct. Fifth answer, till when does the soul carry the subtle body with us? This many wrong answers have come, and this is also a very, very important answer. Very important answer. See, till when does the soul carry the body with it? The body carry the subtle body with it. The correct answer is until the soul is liberated is the correct answer. Why? Here, this is what is the root, the main important to understand Bhagavad Gita. We have to understand this point. Till when does the soul carry the subtle body with it? Just now I have told the soul is there. It is covered by the subtle body, and it is both of them travel together. Many of you said until the material body perishes. The material body perishes, but if the subtle body also perishes with the material body, and the soul leaves the body and goes to another, all of you are very clear, no? That the soul leaves this body and goes to another body. When it goes to another body there, if we are what we are now, that means like we have been discussing that we are what we are means all our previous all our previous memories are carried by the soul or by the subtle body to the next life. This we have been discussing. Also, all our desires are carried to the next life. And we also discussed that the knowledge also is carried to the next life. Like we have discussed that the material education, what we have learned, will be left with the material body here, whereas the subtle body carries the spiritual education. Where does it carry? Where does the soul carry the spiritual education? It is there in the subtle body. And also we also discussed that certain fears or likings are also carried to the next life. Where are they? They are in this mind. Okay, that is, they are preserved in the mind. And some people are very intelligent, like at the age of 1, at the age of 2, they start reciting songs beautifully. From where do they get? How are they able to sing that beautifully? Or some people, many things we see small children doing miraculous jobs. How are they doing? That is the knowledge which they are carrying from the previous life. So the subtle body doesn't perish with the material body. Only the material body. That means the Panchabhutalu, the answer which you have given in the previous question. Only those 5 are left in this body, and the soul goes to the next body, and it carries the subtle body is goes with it. Okay, this one this is also a very important answer which you have to remember, that the soul and subtle body, they go together. The memories are there in it. All the memories are there. Like this example also I have told last time. Like when suppose a question is asked to me about my last month, also certain things I may not remember. Yesterday's also certain things I may not remember. But if I am taken into trance by the psychologist or people like that, if I am taken into the trance, and then if I go back, even what happened 10 years back, I can tell. What happened in my childhood, I can tell. What happened when I was a baby, I can tell. And in fact, I can tell what happened when I was in my mother's womb. I can even tell what happened in my previous life. Where do I remember? That is all carried by the subtle body. This is a very important thing. All of you have to remember. Please remember this. The next question, sixth question is, as per Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is permanent and soul is temporary, or neither Krishna nor the soul are permanent. Okay, Lord Krishna and soul always exist. Okay, this also 9 have put the correct answer as Lord Krishna and the soul always exist. This is what Lord Krishna has been hammering on our head, on Arjuna's head, saying that soul is unperishable. You cannot kill soul. This is what we learned in the previous class, that soul always exists. And we all know that Krishna always exists. He was existing yesterday, he exists today, tomorrow is there. Now we have no doubt that Krishna doesn't exist, no? And unfortunately, somebody, maybe by mistake, somebody has put the answer as neither Krishna nor the soul are permanent. Maybe they must have, that word they must have missed it, because we know that soul, Krishna is permanent, he is the creator. Unless he is there, nothing will exist. So Krishna is permanent. We are all very clear. And soul is also permanent. We have very much studied that in a last chapter, that soul cannot be destroyed. Almost the last 5-6 slokas of in the previous session talks about the existence of soul only. It says the soul cannot be killed. It cannot be burnt. It cannot be cut. Nothing can be done to the soul. That is why we even discussed that the soul, it is, our Shastra says that there is life on the sun also. That means the soul in that material body, in that particular body, can take the heat of the sun. The way we have taken the examples of metals in here, the metals, certain metals melt at a very small temperature. Certain metals need very high temperature to melt. Similarly, soul also, certain material bodies also can withstand the heat of sun also. So the soul always exists. But where does it exist? That is what we are learning. Where does it exist? As long as we don't serve Krishna and get liberation, we keep on undergoing the cycle of Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, and then birth, death, the same cycle we keep undergoing, and then we stay in the material world. And once we get liberation, we go to Lord Krishna, and we are there with him. We are there with him permanently. Now because of our karmas, because of our, I should say, bad karma, we are on this material world. The moment we get good karma, we go to the Goloka, to Krishna's abode. So here the correct answer is Lord Krishna and the soul always exist. Please don't forget that. As per Lord Krishna, who is eligible for liberation? This is the 7th question. 10 have answered correctly. Only one said, a person who spends his life totally in devotion, ignoring his duties. This, I don't know who has marked this, but be very clear. Ignoring his duties is what I have added here. What does Krishna say? The total Bhagavad Gita, what does it say? The major, the only work what we have to do is, we have to do our duty. If we ignore our duty, however good you are, however religious you are, however, I can't say it's a permanent, perfect way of living. That is not perfect way. You might be very good. You might always 24 hours spend your life in devotion, but you cannot ignore your duties. That is what he has told Arjuna in the total Bhagavad Gita. So the correct answer is, a person who is not disturbed by happiness or sorrow and is steady in both the conditions. That means when a sorrow comes or when a happiness comes, we should not get disturbed. He gave the last class, we have taken the example of, what was the example? Weather. We have taken the example of weather. We have taken the example of this sloka also, no? Matra sparsu kaunteya sitoshna sukha. That means either it is very cold or very hot, we have to adjust with it, we go with it. And we have taken the example of when it is very hot, in hot summer, cooking is very difficult. And when in winter, we feel very warm in the kitchen. But we should know how to handle both these things. Similarly, happiness or sorrow is, we have to keep ourselves steady. That means we are human beings. You people in SSP have studied one sloka, no? Who remembers anger for a minute is this week's sloka only. So that way, when we get an emotion, okay, if we get emotional also, immediately we should know how to withstand the emotion. That is how it is. So here the correct answer, as per Lord Krishna, who is eligible for liberation, the correct answer is, as per a person who is not disturbed by happiness or sorrow and is steady in both the conditions, gets liberated. Yeah, Vanshika, you have a doubt? Vanshika, do you have a doubt? Yeah, don't raise your hand unless you have a doubt. Okay, next. 8th, what gives consciousness to the body? So 10 of you have given the correct answer as soul. Only one has given the wrong answer as Lord Krishna. It is the soul which gives consciousness to our body. That means when we say, when do we lose consciousness? When we are dead. That means what is happening when we die? All of us know the answer. The soul is leaving the body. So what is that is giving consciousness to us? Is the soul. So the correct answer is soul. How can a soul be defined? This is again the almost a repetition of previous question. How can a soul be defined? And 9 of you have given correct answer. One has given one as, one said unborn, not eternal, everlasting, and primeval. So the question is, the second answer is the correct. It is unborn. It is eternal. So the first answer, in the first answer, the wrong is eternal, not eternal. Soul is eternal. We have come from Lord Krishna. And the last one also, what is wrong? Born. In the last I said it is born. Soul is not born. It is permanent. It is always there. So it is not born. So that also we have to be clear. Soul is always there. Okay, it is everlasting. These concepts we have to be very clear, because only if these concepts are clear, we will understand Bhagavad Gita very well. Okay, the last one. How does one become sinful? Again, see, if you are in Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna has told are very few points, 1 or 2 points. The same 1 or 2 points he was repeating in different ways and almost repeating the same thing also. Similarly, so it is just repetition. So because when we repeat the same thing 10 times, what will happen? The concepts goes into our mind very strongly. So here also, if we just see the 10 questions which I have given for the 20 slokas, I find the questions are also repeating. Okay, see again the same question. How does one become sinful? How does they become? Out of this, 6 have given the right answer as by not doing his rightful duty. It is again the previous question also. I told no one question. What is that? What is that? The first question. The first question is the same. Why does Lord Krishna, what does Lord Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? To do our duty without expecting results. So here it is almost the same. Here the answer is by doing his duty, rightful duty. That means we have to and the three have given wrong answer, saying by doing what he feels right. That is really wrong. Never get into that person. We can never do whatever we like. We should do whatever we are supposed to do. The third answer is by not listening to his consciousness. That is also wrong. See, sometimes our consciousness may say correct, sometimes wrong. The right answer is by doing his rightful duty. As a child, what is your rightful duty? Your duty is to study well, listen to your parents, and then be good to others. So you can't say that by doing what he feels right. You can't say that, okay, I don't want to study. I'll be very active. I'll be very this thing. I'll start cooking in the house. Let my mother relax. That's not right. She has to, okay, you can once in a way help her, but that's not your duty. You can't stop studying and then go and help your mother. Nor you can't say, you can't ask your father to sit at home and then start what you call the start working doing his work or anybody else's work. So we have to do what our rightful duty is. Like as a mother, my rightful duty, my first priority will be taking care of the family. I have to first take care of the family, and then then I can get into my profession. Then I can get into doing some service or anything else. So first, we should never forget our rightful duty, our primary duty. That means this is, I talked about a family. So what is the rightful duty of a Brahmin? Even the Varnashram also says that only. The Varnas are not by birth. The Varnas are by our character. That means even the person who attains knowledge, who gets knowledge full, and then who utilizes it for teaching to others. That means he has to give the knowledge to others freely. The moment he takes money for giving knowledge, he becomes a Sudra or a Vaisya because he is doing business with his knowledge. Similarly, a Brahmin who does rituals and then he has to take dakshina, whatever others give, offer. He should not say, I'll come to your house and do puja, you pay me 1,000 rupees. The moment he demands a money, he is no more a Brahmin. He is selling his knowledge. He becomes a Sudra. Similarly, a Kshatriya has to guard, a Vaisya has to do business. If a Brahmin, by birth, if he is a Brahmin and start working, then he, doing business, he becomes a Kshatriya, Vaisya. If he takes up a job, he goes to a software company and takes up a job, he might be doing all his Brahminical duties like doing Sandhya Vandana and other things. Even then, the moment he has left his professionally his Brahminical duties and then takes up a job, he becomes a Sudra. So these are the concepts which you have to be very clear about. And also, let us once just revise, because this second chapter is very important. If you understand second chapter, it means you have almost understood Bhagavad Gita. So be very clear about the second chapter. And in the second chapter also, in the first 10 slokas, what is that we have discussed? Arjuna has still further expressed his confusion and he has given his last doubt also. Despite then Krishna chastised him and then he scolded him. And then what does Arjuna do? He surrenders to Krishna as a Shishya by saying Karpanya Joso Pahata Svabhava. So that way, after he started surrendering to Krishna, but he surrendered to Krishna, no doubt, but he never agreed to Krishna. He is still in confusion. But because of his confusion, sometimes we do this. When we are totally confused, we say, okay, I'll do whatever you want me to do, but still we will have our ideas in mind. And we expect others to say, you please say what I want to do. That means here, what is Arjuna expecting? Krishna to say that, okay, you go and do penance in the forest. So, like, he's not totally convinced. Now only because till that 2.7 sloka, Krishna has not yet opened his mouth. So Arjuna surrenders to Krishna. Then what does Krishna do? Krishna then explains what that only an ordinary man, that means and a person who has not got the knowledge about the soul and God and other things, only laments and explains about soul. And then it says, anyway, it quits the body. The moment we take birth, one day we have to die. So don't lament like illiterate. And he then explains that soul is eternal and body is perishable. He very clearly says that you cannot kill soul. You are not killing anybody. You are only removing the old clothes on the soul. So, and you are clearing their karma. This is what Krishna has told very clearly. We have even discussed this point, saying that when one does a sin and receives a punishment for the sin, then his sin is cleared. Like one does a major crime and he is sentenced to death by the government, and he is killed by the government in a legal procedure or however it is, his sin will be cleared. Suppose by using his influence, he escapes the sin, he escapes from the government and he thinks, I am very great, I have escaped and I am living a very happy life. But what happens? The sin which he has accumulated in this life will be carried to the next life. So this is the science of soul. And he has also explained about the material body and the spirit soul, the characteristics of the soul, and the inevitable changes of the body. That means when we are born, we have a different body. As we keep growing, our cells keep dying and we keep getting new body. And he also said that only one who understands this nature of the soul and follows as per that reaches the liberation. And he talks about the perishable body, eternity of the soul. Eternity, you know what is eternity, permanent. And we cannot avoid, and he very clearly says, you cannot avoid your prescribed duty. And he says, what you are doing is not correct. And lamenting for the body is not correct. You should not do. A learned person like you should not do. Then this is what he has told till Sloka 30. And now from 31 to 37, Krishna talks about the sakarma. Sakama karma, both the same. Sakarma. That means these 7 slokas are also known as karma kanda. How one can be happy by doing our duties is what is told in this 7 slokas. And here we all know what is karma. Karma can mean work. Karma means work. Okay. And fruitive results of the work, or a chain of reaction of our action. See, the 2 meanings we can give to karma. That means I am doing my karma. That means I am doing my duty. I am doing my prescribed duty or duty. A work is another, in another way to make it simple, we can say karma means work. So that is one meaning of karma. The second meaning of karma is it's a reaction and actions. That means what is that we are doing now? What is that we are undergoing? What is this life after life, life after death? Is a reaction of our karma. That means reaction of our actions. That whenever something good or bad happens, we say it's our karma. That means we know that we are undergoing what we have already earned. Okay, next. Here it is, one is sakarma. Sakarma means doing activity with a desire. That means we normally, this is the human mentality. Whenever we do anything, we do with a desire to do something. We study. Why do we study? We have to study because as a child, it is your responsibility to study to attain knowledge. We should not study to come first in the class. Coming first in the class or first in the university should be a byproduct. That means we have to attain such kind of a knowledge because of which we'll automatically come first in the class. If we get this maturity in us, then what happens is we don't feel bad that we have come first in the class, we have come second in the class. We'll only rethink, why did I not come first in the class? That means, did I miss any knowledge? Did I miss learning something? That kind of an attitude will come to us. Even in the Krishna, that's what Krishna told, that in the war, fight can be done with desire and without desire. Duryodhana has done this with a desire. That desire is also a wrong desire, because he was doing this karma to get his throne. And Pandavas, why are they doing? They are doing it for their right. Because when we have a right on somebody and somebody takes it away from us and we keep silent, we will be considered as inefficient people. Normally, we have to fight for our right. And then detach it to the results is nishkama karma. This is what, or karma. So what is it we have to always do is karma. That means the example I've given is about your studies. You should study very well. For what? To get the knowledge. Not to come first, not to satisfy somebody, not for a gift. You should study very well to get that, because that is your prescribed duty. Krishna, here in the previous 20 slokas, Krishna speaks about the lesser activity. Lesser means he never said that you fight Arjuna for your akarma. He only said fight for your happiness. That means if we start fighting for happiness, it becomes a sakarma. That means he is fighting for a desire. So here, why did Krishna say that? Because Krishna said that because Arjuna is confused. He also said, will I get any happiness by fighting after killing all my people? So just to give an answer to that, he said. But because when somebody is in confusion, we should not tell him the final tough answer. We should just take him step by step and take him to the final destination. That way, Krishna, in the previous few slokas, if we leave Bhagavad Gita at that, what will happen? We will all get into a wrong notion, saying that it is, Krishna is asking Arjuna to fight for happiness. That means even whatever I do, I'll do it for happiness. That's not correct. That is only a stage one, where slowly Krishna is introducing various concepts into Arjuna's mind. Here, whenever Krishna says karma, he means prescribed duties only. And what we have to do is karma. That means we should not look for the results. I have told you how to do that. And vikarma is forbidden action. That means what Duryodhana is doing, or doing something which will give us bad reactions. That means which will give us negative effect. All this will be discussed in the next few. The total Bhagavad Gita will be talking about this only. But just we have also learned all this in our SSR class, because it's long time. I am just revising that. And here the gist is Arjuna is doing with a desire. Here in the last few slokas, that's what Krishna said. Why not happiness? You do it. You will either get a victory or death. So no problem. You will get if you win, you get kingdom here. If you lose, you will enjoy heavenly kingdom, because the dharma of a kshatriya is to win the war or die in the war, never run away from the war. So in both the cases, you are doing your duty. So you will get only happiness. So this is the answer for one more question. So we all know that we are here in this world like this, in this situation, based on our previous life's karma. And we also know that our expiry date, that means our death day, is fixed, but we are not aware of it. So, but Krishna knows everything. But we have to be very clear. Never after hearing Bhagavad Gita, never say, why all this only for me? We should never say that. Anything good or bad, what we get is because of our karma, our deeds only. And anything bad that is happening, we should always be very happy that our bad karma is getting cleared. whatever bad we have done, we have to undergo that. So that is getting clear. Okay. Also, this Atma Jnanam is given very clearly only in Bhagavad Gita or in Hinduism, and not in other religions. Why they are not? I'm not saying the other religions are wrong and this religion is correct, because the study about these scriptures is not done so much in the other religions, because they are all in the recently come up religions, and unfortunately they all got into the wrong hands, people of wrong hands. And our knowledge, this scripture knowledge, is given by the creator Krishna itself, so it is complete. Okay. If many of the other religions don't say that, like Christianity says that there is no rebirth, but they say that there is Atma. They say that once the body is perished, once we die, we go to heaven. If we take Christianity, you go to heaven. That means here the concept, if you just see, if you just use our common sense, just think, just because we're getting into one religion, if everybody goes to heaven, everybody will go into that. Everyone in the Christianity so happy if they are happy. And this, and all of us agree, wherever we all agree that God is great and he is never partial. We all know that God is never partial. He loves everybody equally. When God loves everybody equally and never partial, why we are all born differently? Like one is born in a rich family, one is born in a poor family, one is born physically fit, one is born totally handicapped, and different kinds. One is leading a happy life, one is leading a sorrowful life. Why? Why did God give different lives? Here in our this thing in Bhagavad Gita, it's very clearly explained that it is the previous Jarma's karma. And if we say there is no rebirth, why some people even in other religions are happy and why some are undergoing problems in life? So will they agree that it is the God has done mistake? No. So there itself the answers come. And also in Christianity, the problem is no, I should not say problem. One concept what they believe is every Sunday they go to the church and the priest is there, and they go and tell in the priest ear whatever sins they have done in that week. So they feel that by confessing to the priest, all their sins are washed away. Does it sound any meaning? Like I whole of this week, I do a lot of sins. I go and tell in the priest ears that I have murdered so many. I have done this. I have done a theft. I have a lot of all rubbish I do. I have taken away that man's property. All this I do. I go and tell in the priest ear, and then if I am clean, then that very simple life. I can just lead a worse life, and then every week I go to the church and then confess. Will that be over? So that itself says that there is a flaw in it. And also Muslims also say Jannat, the same concept of Christianity. They say you come into Christianity, if you come into, Muslim, you will go to heaven. And to bring others into Muslim, they even believe that killing others is not correct, wrong. That is why we are seeing all these jihad and murders, big bomb blast and all that. Do you think it is correct? And unfortunately here, the original Quran or the Bible, original Christianity, the Bible doesn't say all this. Never harm. Both of them also says ahimsa. Even the original Bible or Quran, they talk about ahimsa. They talk about vegetarian food. But unfortunately, people have rewritten them and then do all this. And Buddhism also says there is Atma and rebirth. And then, but they say that they don't say the total creation comes from a sunyam, that means from nowhere. It comes from nowhere. And then it goes back to nowhere. How can something come from nowhere? That is what we have to any question we have, Bhagavad Gita gives a logical answer. Whereas in the examples I have taken previously, there are no logical answers. That means our mind, our like a layman's mind like ours, only will not be satisfied with the answers they give. Okay. Now, getting back to our thing. Now, till now, Krishna explained about Atma, and then he even talked about rebirth. So what? Okay, my Atma, my rebirth, I keep all this. So Arjuna has not yet understood. Okay, the people are saying, and he even feels that, okay, but I am killing them. My relation is getting killed. And also, when we say Atma, rebirth, anyway, we have to take rebirth and things like that. What happens is they become very irresponsible, that I am not the body, I am the soul, I am not doing anything. So let me do whatever I like. That is also wrong. Till now, Krishna answered two doubts of Krishna, that you are not killing anybody, and also you will get an what do you call that, happiness. This is what he has said. And also he talked about the compassion. When Arjuna said, how can I enjoy? He says, as a Kshatriya, only if you do your duty, you will get enjoyment. And also when you are showing compassion towards others, so we should show compassion only when others deserve it. When others keep on doing mistakes, we should not show compassion on that and then ignore our duty. Okay, this is what we have been, this 31 to 37 talks about this. So now we'll go to our, okay. What's your question? Roshan, you are asking me as class started, what all I am talking, is it not a part of the class? Okay.
Sarvada.
We're reading.
Rohan Mataji.
I should tell your name, no? Okay, read.
Swadharmam apichaves. Apichaveksya navigamputam arhasi dharmayadhi yudha cheryo nayat kshatriya na vidyate.
Kshatriyasya na vidyate. Okay, read the meaning.
Translation. Condensing your specific duty as a kartavya, you should know that
Yeah, you are muted.
Better engagement for you than fighting religious principles, and so there is no need for hesitation.
Okay, considering your specific duty as a Kshatriya, you should note that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles. And so there is no need for you for hesitation. It's telling you are a Kshatriya. This is your prescribed duty. You should know that there is no better engagement. That means your only duty is to fight for a religious principles, not for, to fight against the adharma, and there is no need to hesitate. So here he is again telling that this is your prescribed duty. Fighting is your prescribed duty. You should not hesitate. Kshatriyas are trained to kill in the forest. From the childhood, what are they trained? They are taken into the forest, and the continuous training is given to them to fight in the war. And Kshatriya should feel very happy when they get, because wars does not happen every day. So whenever they get an opportunity to do a war, Kshatriya should feel happy. They should not think like this. And then here, all the religions say that ahimsa is not correct. But here, what he is not doing is ahimsa. He is doing, religious violence is happening, which he is trying to control. He is only trying to, here this war is called dharma yuddham. That means, why is this war happening? This war is happening to protect dharma. He has used the word as swadharma in this. Swadharma is, it has got two meanings. One is material plane and other one is eternal plane. So material plane, he is a kshatriya. When he is a kshatriya, he has to do a war. That is the swadharma, the dharma of the dharma. So that is one thing. The other one is eternal plane. The eternal plane is Krishna's plane. There also he has to protect dharma. Whatever Krishna wants him to do, he has to do. The material dharma is on bodily platform. Our dharma, Arjuna as a kshatriya has to fight. That is varnashrama dharma. If he does not fight, that means he is going against his varnashrama. If he goes against his varnashrama, that means he is doing a sin. That is what is told in this chapter. Whoever has read, please lower your hands. It's very important. Yeah, Roshan, please lower your hands. So here was Sanatana Dharma. We will discuss about this also. Dharma is always, what is Dharma? This is also something what we all have to understand. What is Dharma means? Something which cannot be separated from us. Example, water is always a liquid. Salt is always sour. And fire is always hot. Can never be different. Can you ever say that fire is cold? No, it will never be hot. That means the dharma of a fire is to be hot. The dharma of a chili is to be spicy. So this is what is called dharma. It has to be, we have to stick on to it. One has to keep to the dharma. We have to be very clear that dharma, anybody's dharma cannot be separated from them. So here, dharma, human dharma, there are two dharmas. That is what I have already told. One is varnashrama dharma, which we have just now discussed. A Brahmin, teach spiritual knowledge. Kshatriya, protect. And Vaisya, earn means business. And it can be a farming, it can be business, anything. Sudra is to serve. Okay. Then the second dharma is Sanatana dharma. Sanatana dharma is what is love and serve God. Love means we have to love God and serve him with love. When we are doing service to God, see, when we serve our child, a baby in the house, whatever mischief he does, whatever happens to him, even if we suppose a small baby in our house gets COVID, we don't put him in a separate room. Even the parents know that if they take the baby in their lap, they will also get it. But in spite of which they take, because that is the love. That means and they are serving the baby. That means your parents does that to you. They serve you with love. It's not that, see, what is that your parents are doing to you? They are serving you. We should not forget that. We should not think that they are dominating us or they are dictating us. You have to understand that they are serving you. Okay. That is what differentiates from animals. Because we know this sloka, no? Ahara nidra bhayamaidunancha. See, in that sloka, what is that it is told? That the only thing that is differentiating humans and animals is dharma. Dharmo hitesho adhiko visesho. That means if we don't learn dharma, if we don't practice dharma, we are indifferent. We are no different from animals. So here, animals, they have their what is their duty? Their duty only is ahara nidra bhayamaidanancha. So they are doing it. But the benefit of being human life is we know we have to learn what is Sanatana Dharma. And then the Sanatana Dharma we have to practice until we reach God. This is what differentiates between animals and human beings. And this Dharma is what we have to be very clear. Okay? And material Dharma stops with death or detachment. That means why material Dharma stops with death or detachment? This is I am like this. I have materially I have got certain dharmas. That means myself being a lady, I have to take care of my family. I have to take care of my parents. I have to take care of my in-laws, my extended family, my children, and things, various things. Till when will I do that? Until I die. The moment I die, that means until, when this body perishes, this I have got no link with this body in this with this relationship. That means the material dharma which I have been doing till now ends there, or detachment. For some reason, I get detached with the family. My material dharma also ends. That means a person takes sannyasa. A person takes sannyasa. That means his material dharma has the detachment has come for a genuine reason. If the relationship is broken, the material dharma also stops there. But spiritual dharma continues in the next life also. It's not next life, it continues until we reach God. This is about dharma, which we have to be very clear. What is material dharma? What is spiritual dharma? The spiritual dharma is not nothing but Sanatana Dharma. Everybody, we all use these words, Sanatana Dharma very easily. But the Sanatana Dharma is something which is very important and which is very important, and that is to serve with love. So whom do we serve with love? We serve our family with love. We serve our friends with love. But we forget to serve God with love. We always serve God, no doubt. But just if we just analyze to ourselves, if you just question our conscience, we are serving Krishna. How are we serving? We are serving him as a duty. We are serving him out of fear, but not out of love. If you just analyze for ourselves, we know for ourselves that if I don't do this, maybe he'll get angry. But we should feel, if I don't give food to Krishna today, he will feel hungry. That is how we should feel. Okay, that is how we should feel. So the moment it is not that Krishna is he is losing something if I don't serve food, but the moment I love him and treat him as a member of my family, what will happen? I will feel for him. That feeling for him is what is important. That is what is Sanatana Dharma. Serve with love. Serve God with love is Sanatana Dharma. Yeah. So next, Vanshika, you have read the prayer, no? Harshit, will you read? Today we have Harshit. Where is Harshit?
Hare Krishna Mataji, can you hear me? Actually,
Yeah.
Yadra Acharya Chapapanam Swargadvaram Apavrutam Sukinaha Kshatriya Partha Labate Yuddham
Idrusyam.
Idrasham Translation. O Partha, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities came, and so opening for them the doors of heavenly planets, of the heavenly planets.
O Partha, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought. Unsought means they need not look for it. So they must be very happy. See, this is again the same example I am giving you. When you are fully prepared for your exam, tomorrow you have a test. When you go, if you are fully ready with, you have studied everything for the exam, when you go for the exam, you are very excited. Exam has come. Now I am going to write. I'm going to show my knowledge. I'm going to, whatever hard work I have put in all these days is coming to a result, a fruitive results. So when the exam comes, a child who has really prepared for the exam will be very happy. Whereas a child who has not prepared for the exam only fears. Okay. And opening for them the doors of heavenly planet. This we have discussed in the previous thing, that if a Kshatriya fights and then wins or loses, his heavenly planets, if he dies also, the heavenly planets welcome him because he died doing his dharma. So here he's explaining the what you call this, duties of a Kshatriya. Only, he says, only the fortunate Kshatriyas get opportunity to fight for a religious cause. Pandavas wanted peaceful coexistence, but Kauravas were greedy. So this war has come because of Kauravas, not because of Pandavas. Pandavas never wanted a war because they didn't look for this war, but they were compelled to fight. Actually, many circumstances have come when that time itself Pandavas would have declared that we want to fight and then win the war. But they have shown enough patience not to fight and then get it in a peaceful way. But it did not happen. So now they are compelled to fight. So it is an opportunity for them to do this. Okay. Siri, will you read? You can unmute yourself, no problem. Siri, where are you? Yeah, read Siri. You're not able to unmute?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Wait.
अत चेत्त्वामिमं धर्म्यं संग्रामं न करिष्यसि ततः स्वधर्मं कीर्तिं च हित्वा पापम् अवाप्यसि. Translation. If, however, you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties and thus lose your reputation as a fighter.
Yes. Again, the same thing, whatever we have been discussing, all this. If, however, you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. Suppose you don't write your exam. What will happen? Everybody will laugh at you, saying, "Arey, useless fellow, didn't even write your exam. At least you would have failed right by after writing your exam." People will definitely say, at least you should have failed also, it's okay. But not writing exam is not correct. This is what everybody will say. So that way we have to do our religious duty. So here again they are saying that the religious battle, if you do our religious duty, the heavenly doors will be opened for us. This is said by Krishna. So why did Krishna say this? Because Krishna said this because Arjuna was telling, I don't find any good by doing all this. So he's telling there is a good in fighting. Okay. In the earlier section, in the knowledge section, Krishna was always talking about the lower form of happiness. That is sakarma he was talking. Not the ultimate, that is not the ultimate message of Bhagavad Gita. The ultimate message of Bhagavad Gita, as all of us know, is bhakti. Okay, and then we all know that it is all this. Rohan, please don't keep on meddling with the icons. Yeah. So we are doing yoga. We are all these chapters are called as yoga, yoga, yoga. Every chapter is called as, this is called Sankhya Yoga. What is yoga? Is connection. Connection with whom? What does Bhagavad Gita say? It says he is trying to, in Bhagavad Gita, it is told how we can connect ourselves with the Supreme Personality by doing fruitive action of Karma Yoga. Is Karma Yoga. If you do philosophy, that is Karma Yoga. If you do through karma, by doing fruitive action is Karma Yoga. By doing philosophical analysis is Jnana Yoga. And through meditation on the super soul, by sitting and meditating like this is called Ashtanga Yoga. And by doing bhakti is called Bhakti Yoga. All of us know, no, which is the highest yoga. We have studied about this. The highest yoga is Bhakti Yoga. And the rest of the Bhagavad Gita also will tell about all these yogas in detail. And finally, it will conclude that Bhakti Yoga is what is important. If you do your religious duties as a Kshatriya, you will not get a sin. That is what Krishna is telling here. This is also answering one more question of Arjuna. And you will not lose your fame. So definitely, here what did Arjuna say? If I fight and if I kill all my relatives, everybody will get angry on me. They will think, "Arey, useless fellow, he has killed his guru for his kingdom. He has killed his Padnana for his kingdom. He has killed his grandfather for his kingdom." That kind of things everybody will say. It was Arjuna's doubt. But Krishna is telling, you will not lose your reputation as a fighter. Yeah, who will read the next one? Sri Sagana, you want to read? Ramshika. Ramshika, you can unmute yourself. Yeah. Please switch on your video and read. Whoever reads. Actually, the option for unmuting yourself is on. You can unmute. I don't know. Unmute themselves. You can unmute yourself. Amchika, are you there? Okay, next Sri Sagana will read. Okay. Amshika, you're not unmuting. Okay, Sri Sagana. Where are you? Sri Sagana.
Yes, Mataji, now I can unmute.
Yeah.
Akirtim chapi bhutani kadayisyanti te vyayam sambhava vityasya chakritir marnanat atirchiyate. Translation: people will always speak of your infamy, and for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So here Krishna has told very clear, people will always speak out your infamy, and for respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. We always hear about this, no? We lost our precious. You better die than live. This is what we always hear. But we hear this for what? Like when we for material thing. But here Krishna is telling the same thing, but on a spiritual platform. He says people will talk about your infamy, that will become the talk of the town. Like everybody will simply say, "Oh, we thought Krishna is a great warrior. We thought, Arjuna. We thought Arjuna is a great warrior. We always thought that Arjuna is the greatest fighter." But what happened? When the war has come, when the opportunity has come for him to prove himself, he ran away. Nobody will think that he went away to the forest because of compassion. Nobody will think like that. They will only think that he ran away because of fear of death. And nobody will, somebody goes and tells also, nobody will consider all the doubts Arjuna has raised. Tomorrow, Arjuna takes a mic, goes around and says, these are the reasons I have withdrawn from the war. Like all the reasons what we have studied, what he has asked Krishna, Arjuna goes and tells everybody also. Nobody will listen. See, the best example is, see, when in Ramayana, what did Sita do? Sita has entered into the fire to prove her chastity, but still nobody has seen that. Because of that, people just talk bad about her. Similarly, here also, what will happen? Tomorrow, whatever, if Arjuna goes away, nobody will think about the compassion he had. Nobody will think about the good thoughts he had. They will only talk, they will only laugh at him. Okay. And actually, Arjuna is a very respectable person. Those days, Arjuna is supposed to be the warrior. That means that, say, when you say cricket, who is the greatest, we'll give one name. Like that, everywhere we just give one name, we tell one sport, we tell one name. So similarly in fighting, who is the greatest warrior of that time means Arjuna. And then Krishna says, dishonor is worse than death. That means you better die rather than getting dishonored. That means die means, here Krishna doesn't mean commit suicide. Krishna means die in the war than undergoing this dishonor. Actually, Arjuna is a very great fighter. He impressed Lord Shiva and got a astra called Pasupadastra. Shiva has given it only to him. He also could impress Indra. He has a great track record. And also we know that how Arjuna married Draupadi. How did he marry? He just hit a Maschentra. All of you know, I think, how the Swayamvaram was arranged. Like they put a wheel on the top. No, not on the top. Yeah, on the top, where there will be fish fixed. A fish will be fixed in a wheel like this, and the wheel will be rotating very fast. It keeps on rotating, and he should not look at the fish. And there will be water below. There will be water below, so the reflection of the fish will be falling in the water. So he has to look down into the fish, into the water, and hit the eye of the fish. That is how nobody could beat do that Maschyantram. Only Arjuna could hit. Okay, that is the greatest, that is the perfection he has on himself. In spite of that, if you run away, nobody will remember all that. They will only laugh at you. Even the same thing for us also. Like whole life we might do the right thing, but at the end of the life we do a wrong thing. They'll say you have done a mistake. They will only remember the wrong thing. So throughout the life we have to do our duty in a perfect way. Okay, and so performing dishonor is worse than death. So till previously Krishna was telling you fight for the happiness, but from now slowly he is introducing the next level. Okay. Yeah, Vamshika, at least now will you read? Are you there, Vamshika? Can you switch on your video? Yeah, please switch on. Yeah. Why you on? Yeah, mute. 35. Are you reading? What's the problem? I'm unmuting you again. Why you are not getting unmuted?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, please.
Vaya. मम स्यन्ते त्वां महरथः येषां तं च तं बहुमतो
Bhutya.
Yes.
Yes.
Yasya Silagaham.
Laghavam.
Translation. The great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you insignificant.
Yeah, the same thing. Yeah, Hare Krishna. The same thing what we have discussed in the previous chapter, in the previous slokas. The great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battle out of fear only. Like what they will think, and thus they will consider you as insignificant. So Arjuna is not a character whom we should think about. That's simple, they will take it. And because what they will think, we all know that Arjuna is a great warrior. But by once he entered Dharmakshetra, the Kurukshetra, when he has seen this big war field with so many actions of war, he got frightened. Sometimes it happens for us. We will be very well prepared and everything. The moment we enter into the scene, by seeing the scenario there, we get frightened for a minute. So they will all say, this is what it is. It has happened for you that way. Okay? That is how they will think. Okay, now Neha. You can unmute. Please turn your video. 36.
Vadyavadamshta bahun vadisyanti vahitaha nindantasna tava samartyam tato dukkataram nutim. Translation. Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn ability. And what could be more painful for you?
Yeah. See, again, this is 36, no? We are in 36. To avoid. So he says your enemies will describe you as unkind words. They will talk all kind of mean words on him. Like he's a timid fellow, he's got no this thing, he cannot do it, and things like that. They will use all kinds of bad words on you. And what can be more painful? So see, if we are there, when we don't know something also, if somebody says you don't know, we get offended. Hey, how can these people say I don't know? I know. We'll just give a counter argument, like a wrong argument. But when we know, and then others say that you don't know, see what kind of torture, mental torture will we undergo. So that is what he says, it will be very painful. Please don't do it. That's what he is telling. So the next one, 37. Dikshit? Yeah. Dikshit, you can unmute.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Bhagavad Gita 2.37. Hato va prapsyasi swargam jitva va bokshyase mahim tasma dustishta kaunteya yuddhaya krutanishchayah.
Yeah.
Translation. O son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly balance, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up with determination and fight.
Yeah. Oh, son of Kunti. Hare Krishna. O son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield or attain heavenly planet, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. This is what we have been talking all about. Therefore, get up for determination and fight. So we normally say this, get up. What are you sitting like that? Get up. That means in a friendly tone. When he uses the word Kaunteya, Kunti, son of Kunti, that means he is addressing his first cousin. That means in a very intimate way, the way we talk to our, even though Arjuna has surrendered as a Sishya, here Krishna is addressing as his intimate, a person very close to the heart. Our first cousins, how we talk, get up, what are you doing? Get up. This is how we talk. So that way he's telling, oh, get up, Kunti, son of Kunti, Kaunteya, just get up and do the war. So this is here the total 37 is the summary of all the slokas are given as in the meaning. He says, either you will get a heavenly planet if you die, or you will get a earthly kingdom. So get up and fight. Enough of it. That's how he is scolding him. So almost this is what is today's. We shall conclude here. So again from next 38. Till now, Krishna said, you fight for your, initially Krishna said, you fight for your enjoyment. From 38, what will I tell is now, from now he is telling slowly, Krishna is changing the argument. Like initially, we should not, actually Bhagavad Gita doesn't say that you have to do karma for your enjoyment. But initially Krishna said like that. And now slowly from 31 to 37, Krishna has told that that is your duty. That means he is going to the higher principles. He's actually in 2.14 itself. Krishna has told Arjuna about this liberation in this sloka 2.14. Matra sparsha kaunteya. In that sloka, he has already told. So you should know how to, whether it is a happiness or distress, victory or defeat, gain or loss, we should attain, we should do our property. Sorry. Not property. We should do our duty. Otherwise, you will get a sin. If you don't do our duty properly, we will get sin. This he has been talking. And even in Sloka 2.15 also, he told the same thing. That the person who is not disturbed by the happiness or distress and is steady in both the situations will get liberation. Krishna is making a smooth transition from scolding to telling, okay, nothing will happen, don't worry, you will get enjoyment. And then he told that you are not killing him. And then so slowly he's taking. And finally, here actually what is explained is that here the war is happening because Krishna is desiring for it. So there will be no sin that will happen. This is, so we have completed 31 to 37. Now next week we'll continue with the thing. We'll stop here. Okay. Yeah. You don't worry, I'll give you attendance. Yeah, you can mark your attendance. All of you can unmute yourself. I don't know why you're not. Yeah. Any doubts? Do you have any doubts? Have any doubts?